Hello, hello, and happy Sunday to you. Welcome to another edition of Power of the Pen. I am LaWanna Bradford, your host for today, and I am excited because we will be talking about the leadership secrets of the Santa Claus. Leadership secrets of the Santa Claus. Let me get the camera fixed here. And here is the book that we are going to cover today. And for those of you who are joining us for the very first time on E360 TV, welcome, welcome. And to those of you who are continuing to follow us, thank you so very much. And today, as you see, I'm in the festive mood with my Santa cap on. And it is the holiday season. There are lessons that we can really learn from Santa Claus. And I love this book. This book is from the Walk the Talk company. It is a business leadership company. They have a lot of quick, simple reads like this. And this is going to be a two-part series. So today we are going to cover building a wonderful workshop and choosing your reindeer wisely. Again, building a wonderful workshop and choosing your reindeer wisely. And the one thing that I love about this book is it sits on the premise that effective leaders are able to accomplish big things, amazing things. They have those just crazy, wild goals that they're able to achieve. And how they're able to do this is through setting clear goals, having a solid sense of accountability, and that ongoing feedback. And the team, the leadership team that wrote this book, I thought it was just so innovative and creative. And this is an example for those of you who are out there as authors who have lived experiences in business or in life, and you're thinking, how can I package this in a way that will attract a reader? How is my message different? Well, sometimes the message isn't different, but how you package it, how you plate it, if you will attract a different reader and have a different level of impact. So this particular book is designed for those. It was written for those in corporate, but I'm going to translate it for both corporate as well as the entrepreneur. So if you have your own business, whether you are a small business, mid-sized business, big business, it doesn't matter. I think there's some key lessons that you can take away from this. And even if you're a solopreneur and you're thinking, I'm not certain how this is going to apply, just sit back, relax, get a cup of hot cocoa, and take out your notes, because I promise you, you're going to want to write down a few things, because this is going to be an interactive, a little bit different than what we do in the past when we're focusing on a particular book. So I want you to get out your notes, whatever device you want to capture notes on, and walk through these 4 lessons with me. There are 8 in total, but again, we're gonna take a little highlight. But before I begin digging into these lessons, I want to read you something from Santa himself. Santa says, "It is not easy being Santa. Believe you me, having to smile and be jolly every day when you're wearing the same thick, hot red wool suit that itches like crazy is no picnic. This is a job that will definitely strain your sanity and drain your ego if you let it. Seems like everyone wants a piece of me. Yet many of the people I serve question my existence or just plain don't believe in me at all. And those who do believe often expect me to do the impossible, rarely caring about what I have to do or go through, including those chimneys. And they all have expectations. Give people exactly what they want in a ho, 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 and everybody loves good old Santa. But miss 1 or 2 items on that list, or forget to include the batteries, and you better be ready for alligator tears, the fat jokes, the stupid songs, no cookies, the wet laps, the yanks on the beer, and if I could do Santa I could do Santa better than Santa remarks. And that's only half of why it's not easy being me. There's no doubt that my biggest challenge comes from two roles that people rarely associate with this red-cheeked, bag-carrying sleigh driver: Santa the manager and Santa the leader. And I want to pause right there, and I want you to think about where you are in your business or where you may stand in corporate America. And do you sometimes feel the pressure of the demands, the pressure of meeting those customer expectations, whether it's internal customers, external customers, where you feel like they just don't get what it takes to do this job? They don't understand what I have to go through. And Santa is saying, I get it. I feel you. He says, after all, he's running a business. I'm a boss. I've got responsibilities, both to the gift givers and the gift makers. There are workers to lead, letters to read, orders to fill, processes to manage, stuff to buy, stuff to make, standards to manage, new technologies to adopt, skills to develop, elf problems to solve, and reindeer droppings to scoop, even though I delegate that one. Trust me, I've got some big and not always easy fitting boots to fill. Now, those of you who may be solo entrepreneurs, you're probably nodding your head saying, Santa, I feel your pain. I feel like I have to do everything. But even if you're not a solopreneur and you have a team to run a business effectively, it requires multiple lanes, systems, processes integrated in a cohesive way in order to align with your mission, to deliver the results that you have stated for your customers, and to meet those performance goals and objectives that are ultimately going to impact your bottom line. And the first thing is making the mission the main thing. Making the mission the main thing. It is that guiding principle. It's that commitment that you're willing to say, this is what we say we're going to do. And we're going to show you through our actions, through our products and services, through our day-to-day efforting, that we are going to achieve this. See, he says, with all the team members we have, orders we get, toys we make, and issues we face, it would be easy to dilute ourselves, head off on tangents, or just plain lose sight as to why we are here. Now, how many of you have just jumped on the pivoting bandwagon like crazy? Every time you see the latest video offer idea, you're quick to jump on. You're quick to buy the new thing. You're quick to spend time in someone's boot camp that may or may not have any relevancy to what you are doing. See, Santa says when you have the main thing, your mission as the main thing, it becomes that guidepost in your business. Keep your mission the main thing. Focus on your people. Your values be your guide. Let your values be your guide. I want to welcome you all to our special edition of Power of the Pen, the Leadership Secrets of Santa Claus, and we will be right back after this break. And I have here joining me today my business partner and friend, the amazing, dynamic, best-selling author, international speaker, purpose strategist extraordinaire, Miss Barbara Beckley. How's it going, Barbara?
It's going really good, Mrs. Wonderful, amazing Queen LaWanna Bradford.
And today, Barbara and I are in part 2, the leadership secrets of Santa Claus. So I'm wearing my little Santa hat on today. I thought I'd wear my Santa sweater.
Oh.
And this is a book here, The Leadership Secrets of the Santa Claus, how to get big things done in your workshop all year long. Mm-hmm. So the question is, how effective were you this year in your goals, your objectives in life and in business? Did you hit them? Fall short a little bit? Still plugging away because the year isn't done yet? Let's see.
But today we are going to take this and twist it, even though it's written for those in the corporate sector. I want to twist the message for the entrepreneur and realize that there are some amazing life and business lessons that we can learn from dear old Santa.
Yes.
And last week I talked about building your wonderful workshop. And this goes into Barbara's side of the house, where it's making the main thing, meaning you need to know what your mission is and being wedded to that. And that falls in line with your purpose. As Barbara says, your purpose, your passion, and your drive, that when those are aligned, when your mission is aligned with your purpose, then it's important to remember a critical component. We're not meant to do everything alone. You're people, right? So it's people who are working with you, for you, strategic partners, official corporate partners, even your customers can help you carry the water of what it is that you're doing, how you're showing up, how you're serving. Shay Brown mentions that selling equals service. So the question is, are people aligning with your messages? And the third component of this was, are they aligning with your values? Do you communicate your values to others? Have you even thought about your own values? So Santa says, you want to make sure your mission is the main thing. You want to focus on the people, aligning it with your purpose, and making sure your values are in sync with those goals. Because when there's not that congruency, we can start hitting unnecessary bumps in the road, end up getting sidelined, and then wondering what happened. Well, you didn't keep the main thing, right? So again, in building your wonderful workshop, you want to think about that. And the second piece is choosing your reindeer wisely. So going back to the people. And I'm going to turn this over to Barbara a little bit, because what's important is when we're thinking about the people who are working with us, are you just quick to get a warm body? Just because you got to get it done. So it's like, let me hire this person quickly, or let me partner with this person quickly. But you haven't assessed to see, are their vision aligned? Is their vision aligned with yours? Do they have the same work ethic? And are you only looking at bringing in people who look and act and talk like you? Or are you saying, you know what? This is a beautiful, abundant world. There's a lot of diversity and brilliance out there. Let me start attracting people who want to go in the same direction that I want to go in, even if they don't think, look, speak, or act like me. Barbara.
Yeah, I like what you brought up, where I think it mentioned in the chapter too, where it said, hire tough so you could, so you can manage easy. And that really stuck with me even more. That gave me a reminder, because first I was like, I just can't just hire willy-nilly, like you said. And then do they add up to the values that you have for you, going back to your whole mission and values? If they don't have a value of integrity, then you shouldn't even have a second thought. It's like, okay, they just showed me who they was, like we always say too. And why are you still having the conversation? Why do you feel like you have to have that conversation? Stick to your values. Stick to the mission that you have in your business. Because if you don't, if you do hire them, you're going to see that it's going to be a rough part of, now you got to let them go, and you could have avoided all of that. So I love how that brought back to my memory. I love how Santa's tips mentioned that. And then also diversity. I had to look at that too, because I'm like, okay, if I'm talking about, I'm a diverse person, I believe in, all races and everything, and then I hire all purple people, then something's wrong.
Purple people eaters?
Purple people eaters. Where's the yellows? Where's the greens? Where's the orange? Where's all the other colors? Where's all the diversity that I said that I believe in? So, like I said, these were some really good tips, that reminders. And this is good. I like how you're doing this, LaWanna, now before starting the new year, so we can all get our minds on that.
Yeah, and thank you, Barbara. And what you were saying as far as diversity, again, the smaller you stay in, I work and support and partner with only people who look like me, you're missing out. You're really missing out. You're putting yourself in this little pigeonhole, and maybe that's working for you. You know, I'm not telling you how to show up for your business, but I'm just telling you, Santa's been around a long time. He's been rocking and rolling and managing this workshop, being able to be responsive to the needs of children, balancing critical staff needs, taking care of reindeer, flying around the world all in one night, getting everything done on time. I think we might be able to learn a few things about why he realized it was important to be diverse in his hiring and staffing practices, right? And relationship building.
Yeah, I like when he said, I just can't just hire the little ones with the ears.
The pointed ears.
With the pointed ears. I have to have an array of people because you're missing out, like you said.
Exactly. Well, today, as I said, this is a little short book. I mean, literally, you can read it in one sentence, but sitting. But this is a walk the talk company resource. And I just want to say this: Eric Harvey, Dave Quattrell, and Al Lucia, they said that this work is based on the belief that effective leaders accomplish big things by giving employees, and I'm going to add to this, your strategic partners, your customers, your shareholders, clear goals and solid accountabilities, and ongoing feedback, coaching, and recognition. These are the leadership traits of the Santa Claus in each of us. So they believe, as Les Brown says, there is greatness within, but sometimes it's buried in all that muck that we forget about it. And a lot of what the principles in here are they're basic. It's going back to basic. Today, we're going to go over one section of one chapter, and then we're going to really dig deep into another chapter. So today we're going to talk about sharing the milk and cookies and be good for goodness sake. All right? Oh, you better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout.
Can't help but not get that.
Yes. So sharing your milk and cookies.
Yes.
And the piece that I want to talk about is doing right by those who do right. Mm-hmm. And the whole premise of this chapter is we have individuals around us. Again, whether they're our employees, our gig workers, our partners, our strategic partners, mm-hmm. who are doing a lot to help you get visibility, to help get your products and services out there, to follow up with your customers, to just enable you to show up in your brilliance, in your business, to do what you promise you're going to do. There's a lot of people, when you pause and think about it, you may be the solopreneur, but if you really pause and think about everyone that is around you, there are people, I guarantee you can at least come up with 3 who are girding you up in some form or fashion. Yes. It might be your mentor. Mm-hmm. It might be your accountability partner. Mm-hmm. It might be that client that keeps coming back over and over again for that service, for that product, because they really love what you're doing. It might be that customer who's giving you a testimonial. There is someone out there that is helping you get from point A to point B to C to D every single day. If you really believe that it's just you, me, myself, and I, and there's no one else helping me, I challenge you to rise up and look around. Because a business does not work if you do not have a customer on the other end. It's not a business. It's just you enjoying a hobby. And that's what you're doing. So I'll tell you what Santa says. Santa says, I admit it. There was a period long ago when I had fallen into the trap, and Barbara, I'm on 54 for you because I know you have the book, of taking my workers for granted. They were running smoothly. The elves were cranking out quality toys by the thousand. The reindeer were pulling sleigh through the midnight sky at what is now called warp speed. When an occasional problem arose, staff members dealt with it and fixed it. That was, after all, their job. It was what they were expected to do. Now, I want to pause right there. How many of us at times have gotten a little beside ourselves and thought, well, that's their job. That's what I hired them for. Right? So when you think about that and that tenor that you may be either thinking or speaking, it's a shift in energy and it doesn't sound or feel very good. Right? So we're gonna unpackage this a little bit. And as always, I was very busy. That's their job. I'm busy. Hear that? Your job, I'm busy. That's what you're expected to do. Now, we may have been guilty or may still be guilty of using that kind of language around the individuals who are there supporting us, helping us, or maybe we're thinking it.
Yes.
Thoughts become things. It's how it affects how we show up.
Yes.
He said, I regularly responded with no response. So you have Barbara. Let's say Barbara's doing a great job. Barbara is networking and bringing referrals to me. But I had a partnership agreement that said that was going to be her role. That's her job. I'm not responding. I'm just sitting there with my hand out. What you got for me? Think about that. Santa says, I said and did nothing as long as my expectations were being met. So it seems like the only time Santa was opening up his mouth is if he felt that there was a problem, right? Now you're not helping me get to where I was supposed to go. Now you are falling down on the job. And now I'm going to talk to you. So I'm going to kick you all day long when you're not doing right. But where are the kisses? Where is the praise? Where's the recognition? He said, one afternoon, one of his elves asked a profound question. Hey, boss, he said, good little girls and boys get all these toys. What do good elves and reindeer get?
That was
right. So do you think about that? Barbara, I want to pass this over to you. Do you think about when those individuals are around you and they're showing up every day, they believe in your vision. They're not dropping the ball. They're even bringing ideas to the table that maybe you didn't even think of.
Yep.
I want to say something. He said, I chose to make a change, one that definitely turned out to be for the better for everyone. And then I'm going to turn it over to you, Barbara. He said, since that experience, I've worked hard at developing one of the most important characteristics of an effective leader. Again, I'm going to repeat, one of the most important characteristics of an effective leader. And that's having an attitude of gratitude.
Yes, I love that characteristic he thought about and he said, I got to do. Because I don't care. You should always have that attitude of gratitude for everybody. Because like you said, they're basically, they did a buy-in with you, basically. They're believing in your vision. They believe in your mission. And they believe in you. And then for you to turn around and just like, okay, well, yeah. It's funny because I know there's been a lot of times, everybody out there that, we're doing our job, but then one thing goes wrong. And all of a sudden you hearing that person, you did this, you didn't do this. Okay. So they forget all the other times. And even if I did something wrong, I'm still there with you. So yeah, we have to have the attitude and always think that no matter what's going on, even if they do something wrong, see what it was. Give them their flowers and say, okay, let's see how we can fix this.
again, this is about giving them the milk and cookies. It's like giving people their flowers while they still live, saying thank you, showing how appreciative you are, walking always in a spirit of gratitude.
Yes.
And ask yourself, are you always finding yourself in the receiving mode? Or do you find yourself in the grateful gratitude mode where you're also pouring from a full cup, right? Because your cup is full. Because people are giving to you, they're pouring into you, pouring into your business. Are you taking the time to say thank you, or is it just, well, Barbara needed me on her show. You know, she just needs to be grateful that I came on. So, and I use that as a simple example to say, okay, well, how are you showing up for her audience? Yeah. Are you thankful for those individuals who are lining up to support you?
Yeah.
Right, Barbara?
Yeah. And, you know, it's just this is a common thing, like it says in the chapter 2 about, you know, do right to people that do right to you. You know, that's what one of the tips that Santa said as well. He was learning and growing. Say, you know, if they're doing right, what I mean, think about it. Wouldn't you want it the other way around? So sometimes it's just common sense to say to yourself, okay, this person has done this for me, has been, you know, great. I mean, working for me, has been buying in, has been believing in me. I can't sit there and say a thank you or I really appreciate you, because like LaWanna said, they don't have to do it. They can go to another job. They can go to another North Pole, maybe go to the other pole and work for somebody else or another toy company. I mean, just like Santa said, they can go to another toy company. They don't have to be with Santa. So, I mean, we're using the Santa, you know, analogy, but you know, you have to think about that. And I like what you said, LaWanna, real quickly, is going back, like say you have a show and you have a guest. Well, you know, I'm grateful because they came on, they spent the time, but also the guests showing their gratitude is, okay, I'm going to share. I'm going to share. I'm just not going to just be on a platform with Barbara. I'm going to share it with other people that I know, to know that, first of all, I'm grateful to be on the platform. Second, I want other people to see and let her know that I'm grateful because I shared it out to others. Yeah.
Yeah. And it goes back to an attitude of gratitude, saying thank you, showing your appreciation is common courtesy and basic manners, right? It's going back to the basics. And to those that are watching us here on Power of the Pen, this episode we're talking about the leadership secrets of Santa Claus. There is a person on the other side of whatever you're doing, whether it's that client, another service provider, a strategic partner, a supplier. There's a body on the other side. And how are you relating to humanity around you?
Yes.
We'll be right back to talk about be good for goodness sake in just a moment. You can get a copy of this book, Leadership Secrets of the Santa Claus, How to Get Big Things Done, all year long, in your workshop all year long on Amazon.com. And again, this is a book by a Talk the Talk company resource. Be good for goodness sake. We've heard all of that, right? Mm-hmm. Well, Santa focused on that as well. He realized that was a very key trait to have in how he operates, how he did business. Mm-hmm. And he said, if I've not learned anything over the many years of wearing this red suit, it is that leadership is not for the paranoid at heart. Again, leadership is not for the paranoid at heart. Like most managers, I operate in a fishbowl. I'm constantly being watched. Elves are always looking at me to see what I'm doing. The reindeer gets cricks in their necks from checking on what Santa's up to at any given moment. They are watching. They are learning. People are watching you.
Yeah.
Your customers are watching you. They hear the talk, but are you really walking the walk? They hear your promises, but when they get your service and or product, does it fall a little flat? They're also learning about how your walk aligns with what you say you value, what you say is important to you. So Santa says, imagine what would happen if we had just one ethics slip at the North Pole. Just one time when we failed to do the right thing, it would be disastrous. Our excellent reputation, built over centuries of hard work and attention to detail, could be tarnished or destroyed entirely by a single inappropriate act. How could the customers we serve ever believe in a Santa, in a crew who broke the rules, cut corners, or failed to meet their commitments? How could all the little ones out there be expected to be good, knowing that Santa isn't? How could anyone ever think of writing a Dear Santa letter ever again? So let's talk about ethics. Let's talk about integrity. And integrity, people often define it as doing the right thing when no one is looking. Right? It's how you show up. I remember meeting one person, and they had a pizza shop. And oh my gosh, their pizza was amazing. Local pizza owner. And they were saying that the cost of the type of tomatoes they were using in their sauce was going up. And it was just beginning to be a little bit exorbitant for what they wanted to do. So they said, well, what we're going to do is we're not going to use fresh tomatoes anymore. We're going to go get the big jumbo canned tomatoes and use it, and no one will know the difference. But you're promoting this based upon this type of vine ripened tomatoes. There was a certain type of tomato that they were saying that their sauce was made from. They were saying that they were using imported olive oil. So think about, they're telling you all this stuff, but behind the scenes, I'm changing things because you won't know. You won't know. Well, somebody knows, right? Somebody knows. So maybe you think you're doing it in secret, but someone knows. Whoever that partner is, that employee, that gig worker, that virtual assistant, somebody knows you're not showing up in integrity. Someone knows you're cutting corners. Someone knows that you're saying that you're something that you're not. Barbara, I'll let you take that one on.
that hit to the core, because I see that a lot. And sometimes you have to be careful because you don't want to go there yourself of being something that you're not. That's why I'm going to throw this here again. I'm going to throw it real quickly. That's why you need to understand your purpose, because once you understand you're not, it's automatic. You're not going to do something that's out of integrity because it's instilled in you. I was just thinking of an example with one of my clients where I have a team that I work with my clients for social media, for their social media management. Well, the team didn't do something right, and it messed up some things, for the client. And I didn't get a chance to look at it. So, that was me. So I didn't do the quality control of it. The team messed up. So we all kind of just messed up. So in my mind, I could have said, well, the team did it. Blame it on the team. They did it. Or, I was blaming all on them. But that wasn't right, because I didn't do my due diligence. I'm over this company. I have to take the good and bad and the ugly and have the responsibility to be accountable. So I had to basically explain to the client what happened. And I started with me. I said, first, I'm going to put it on me because I promised you the service. It doesn't matter who does it behind closed doors. I'm the one that promised you the service. So I had to take that thought real quick and say, no, you can't go there, Barbara. And I had to be right with that client.
And sometimes that can be a little difficult. And sometimes doing the right thing is not always easy when it exposes your vulnerabilities. when it exposes where you didn't show up in excellence or where a mistake was made. But as I mentioned before, there's a human at every end of the equation. We're not perfect. We are going to make mistakes, but when you own up to them, when you have processes, when you have guidelines in place to make sure that you don't have, the integrity is one, but ethics violations. So me being on the mortgage side, I got to make sure that things are done in accordance to federal guidelines. I don't look good in orange. You may think, well, this is orange. No, it's not. It's red.
That's right.
It's red. But in all seriousness, sometimes you have to put things in writing, sit down with your team, let them know this is how we do business.
Yes.
This is how we manage integrity. This is how we ensure consistency and comply with our ethics guidelines.
Yeah.
When you don't have those things in writing, when you're not communicating with others, especially those in your sphere of influence, that's when you're exposing yourself unnecessarily as a business owner to risk, lawsuits, high attrition rates, grievances, dissatisfied customers just leaving, bad online reviews. Think about that. Yeah. So there's things that we can control if we do things the right way. Yeah. I'm going to take another little break and we'll be right back to talk more about being good for goodness sake.
That's what Christmas is. The stockings filled with candy canes, the sparkling colored lights, and peace to everyone on earth. God bless this holy night, our favorite holiday, 'cause Santa's on his way. This is Christmas.
Well, we've got a few more minutes to just do a deep dive on Santa Claus, the Leadership Secrets of Santa Claus Part 2, to our viewing audience from E360 TV and those that are watching on our streaming platforms. Welcome, welcome. So, when we're talking about integrity, Santa says, I must take the lead. I must be the first to walk the talk. I'm going to say that again. I must take the lead. I must be the first to walk the talk. He says, when it comes to things like following all the rules and procedures, treating everyone with dignity and respect, always telling the truth. I want to pause right there. Some people may think, well, as long as I don't say it, it's not really a lie. I'm not really being deceptive. Well, it's called lying by omission. So again, integrity, be truthful. So I'm just going to go there. And there's nothing wrong with individuals having honors and awards, right? Yeah. But when you take these honors and awards and you misrepresent yourself with them, are you really operating in integrity? I mean, honestly, I did an interview in 2020 with a doctor. She's a chemist. And we were talking about just the influence and work that she was doing in corporate America. And we talked about what it took, because the whole conversation was about women in STEM. And we were talking about what it took for her to get to where she is now and the level of influence that she has. So not only was it, the years of education, formal education, but then showing up in those and being eventually graduated to different levels of positions of authority and responsibility. But then she said that she had one issue. And I said, what are you talking about? And she said she had gone to, it was a networking event. And there were other, your scientists and other professionals. And she met a couple people who had doctor in front of their names. And again, because of this type of event that she was at, her assumption is that they are doctors by education, right? And she found out later that they weren't, but they didn't, when she was talking about it, they talked about, their school, all of this stuff, right? But they never said, well, actually, this was an honorary degree. But they kept the conversation going. So she, and again, this isn't looking down at individuals, she thought she was dealing peer to peer with experience. And she said she personally had an issue with these individuals on their name badge showing that this was Dr. X, Dr. Y. Then you're in a room of those that you're following me? And I thought it was interesting because I thought, this is someone who paid their dues from an education standpoint. So her issue wasn't, oh, you happen to be an honorary doctorate. That wasn't her issue. It was how the person was showing up and using it, giving the false perception that they had gone through the same type of matriculation as these other scientists in the room.
Yeah.
Right? So again, that goes back to integrity. If you're growing in a certain industry and you're not yet that SME, that subject matter expert, it's okay. Everyone started from somewhere.
Yeah.
Everyone started from somewhere. The most brilliant minds that did not come out of the mother's womb, writing complex math equations. It was a process. There are certain things that are learned. Barbara, what do you have to say about that? Because again, he's saying always telling the truth and consistently taking a stand for what is right.
Yeah, and that goes back to my example just a little earlier. I mean, it was in my head because the first thing popped in my head was, okay, they might just, after I tell them this, they're going to be like, you know what, Barbara, it was nice knowing you, nice being your client, but I got to go. Because if, you don't even take, I mean, they could have went down that road. But I said, I have to stick to truth. I have to stick with my integrity. This is how I run my business. So when that happened, the client came back. They said, the first thing they said is, thank you for letting me know and telling the truth. And I'm telling you, LaWanna, when she said that, I don't know about my heart, all of a sudden, I felt so good because I said I stuck to my gun and she appreciated it. They appreciated that honesty. Now, sometimes, like LaWanna says, sometimes it might not work that way. It's going to be honest. This is, everybody's a little different. Some people another person could turn around and say, you know what, thanks for telling me that, but you know what, I can't do it. They could have went a different route. But she thanked me and she said, okay. And I said another thing I did is I told the truth, and then I had a game plan on how to fix that moving forward. And I let her know that. So that's those guidelines in establishing accountability. We're getting into that part. So I did I told you what happened. I owned it. Now I need to establish some rules and regulations here. So hopefully this doesn't happen again. We don't want this happening again. And
Right.
one thing I want to bring to LaWanna, we're talking about integrity. Then this goes back a few chapters, but it kind of goes with this, where when Santa was talking about, he did a little thing. He said, write your signature down. Just write on a piece of paper. And then you ask yourself, what does that signature stand for? How do you stand out on your signature? And I was like, that's good. because when you write your signature, that you're basically making an agreement with your name. That's you. You're bagging up. That's all the things that we're talking about.
Exactly. And so there were two parts that Barbara and I just went over. So as she was saying, guidelines and responsibilities, and how you show up. And the other part is you and who you say you are. Santa says who he is, and we can prove where he goes, right? Like he said, I've been in business for centuries. Well, that's a big claim. Well, we can go back through history and see how long there's been a Santa Claus, right? The stories of a Santa Claus. And it is centuries.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just like we can go and find out how long have we been telling stories of Santa Claus or Saint Nick, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ask yourself, where can people find information about you to vet if you are who you say you are? Google is gold in the hands of a prospective client.
Yes.
Customers are more savvy than ever before. They're going to look you up.
Yeah.
Like now I have people when they say, oh, LaWanna, can you send me your bio? And I was, my standard bio that I can send my via, a document. But I changed that about 4 years ago. And I started sending my bio link that is in an event, a major event that I spoke at. Because now it's like, wait, I put this out, the event vetted me because I had to have certain things in order to be on this particular stage. And I just used that. This is just what I wanted to do to show an extra level of credibility. So you're not just reading a Word document, but you're seeing how this bio was used to open up a door on this particular stage. And every time I use that, I never get a no. Again, and this is when I'm trying to build that strategic partnership. I'm trying to create those alliances, those allies, right?
Yes.
So again, think about what it is, and how do you stand up for yourself?
Yeah.
How do you show up? Again, we can create technology allows us to create illusions. We really can. But at the end of the day, you have to close your eyes at night. How well do you sleep? When you look yourself in the mirror, what is it saying back to you?
Yes.
Is it saying I did the right thing? It's okay to let someone know, hey, I'm new in business. I'm taking my expertise here, but I'm learning over here. Or maybe my team is deficient here, but thank you for bringing that to my attention. I now know where I need to hire.
Yes.
I now know the talent I need to bring in place. Be a person who operates with integrity. And I want to just leave you these little steps. So this is called the workshop What's Right test. He says, and this is now from a compliance guideline standpoint. Santa says you want to ask 8 questions. Is it legal? Does it comply with our guidelines and rules? Is it in sync with our values? Will I be comfortable, guilt-free, or even jolly when I do it? So that's your peace. You have peace about it. Does it support our goals, commitments, and mission? Again, we talked about that earlier and last week, that alignment. Would I do it to my family or friends?
That's good.
Would I be perfectly okay with someone doing it to me? And then lastly, with the most ethical individual I know,
Do it.
do it.
Do it.
So this is a great, this last chapter, we could actually go another 2 hours and unpackages, but we don't have that kind of time. But you can continue to explore the leadership secrets of the Santa Claus, how to get big things done in your workshop all year long on Amazon.com. Again, it's a great read. It's actually good principles for your children. Life lessons, how they interact, how they show up, how they commit, how they develop their own standard and values of excellence.
Yes.
Right? So it's, again, a really simple book, a fun book.
It was fun.
But there's some life applications, business applications that we can take away. And I just thought this was again, since we're in the
season,
that this was just a great book to bring up. And I remember talking to my brother about this, and I said, yeah, I'm getting ready to do this book. And he works for Salesforce. And he goes, I remember that book from years ago. Again, it's just a good, simple, fun read. I really encourage those who are entrepreneurs out there thinking about going into entrepreneurship. Put this as one of your little resources in your library. And I'm going to give you a little tip. Because Barbara and I always talk about how you can use certain things to increase your visibility and your impact and your influence. If you are a coach, here's a blueprint for some good exercises, especially if you're doing programs during the holiday. I mean, you can set up an entire training around this, a workshop. I mean, there's so many opportunities that you can take to use. Obviously, giving credit. Now we're talking about integrity, right? Giving credit to your resource. But again, it's something that can help you if you're one who is a coach to help individuals with their leadership skills, right? Stakeholder engagement, building a high-performing team. It's all in here. Yeah. So great lessons.
Yes. Yeah. So I want to real quickly, I want to do one of the lessons, attitude of gratitude, and thank Miss LaWanna for having me on her show today and to share the leadership secrets of Santa Claus. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, we want to thank you so very much for joining us. If you want to be a guest on Power of the Pen, please see the information below. Reach out to me, LaWanna Bradford, at LaWanna at Bradford Group, mtg.com. Simply put Power of the Pen in the subject line. If you have a book and you want that book launch, you want to relaunch your book in 2023, same email and just put book launch on the in the subject line, and a member of our team will get back to you very quickly. So I want to say thank you so very much, Barbara, for joining me on Power of the Pen.
Thank you.
And to our viewing audience, remember that your voice matters. If you have a message and you feel that it needs to get out, don't silence yourself. Pick up the power of the pen and end up increasing the impact, influence, and income that you want in the world. And also remember that in life and in business, when your vision intersects with opportunity, and you're operating in integrity like Santa, success is inevitable. Until next week, goodbye, everyone. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.